My Banner. Welcome to Hold My Banner. Travis Thomas here, your host with you, of course, my co-host. I always say that. Thank you for joining us. Hey, this is the most basketball you're going to get because it feels like the Celtics haven't played since forever. So let's bring them in, the walking, talking triple-double, Ountae Campbell. Tay, you heard me say it there. I mean, this team hasn't played since the past weekend. We still have to wait till tomorrow when the C's beat the Pistons here at TD Garden yet again.
Hey, this team needs some rest, though. They've been playing a lot of games, a lot of back-to-backs and all that stuff, getting ready for the NBA Cup. They got 3 games in 12 days because they ain't make it. But, you know, it's going to be a great opportunity for this team to rest up because they were starting to look a little banged up going into the break. Well, I wouldn't call it a break, but, you know, it's a break.
Feels like a break to me. Feels like it's been eternity.
Yeah, during the break, though, we did have some news. A.J. DeBenza from Boston, man.
Saw that.
He committed to BYU. This is the #1 player in the class of 2025. He's also supposed to be better than Cooper Flagg. That's what I've heard on the streets.
Allegedly,
that's what the streets are saying. Travis, how do you feel about him committing to BYU, bro?
I mean, I don't really know enough about the kid. I didn't grow up here. I don't know the basketball circuit here like that. The clips I've seen of him, he looks fantastic. Now, he did play here for a while. Then he ended up out in that Bay Area. Then he ended up in Utah. So he moved around, different prep schools. But like I said, I've only seen YouTube of the kid. Yeah. He can hoop. Yeah. We could have a YouTube video of anyone that looks as good as Cooper Flagg. So we'll see if that kind of plays out the way it is. I wasn't shocked at BYU because he's in Utah anyway. So it's probably easy for them to just say, hey, man, stay here. And then the cash doesn't hurt. I mean, I've seen reports this kid's making $7 million. Red Bull's involved. Nike's involved. So he's making all this NIL money. I'm not shocked he picked BYU at all. It doesn't matter. He's going to be there 5 seconds before he's in the league anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Ryan Smith, who's the owner of the Jazz, is the one who's kind of heading most of that $7 million, and that's probably why he's with the Utah Prep right now. So, you know, maybe a little tampering going on over there.
Not tampering. It's business.
A little tampering. You know, the BYU alum, so that's why he wanted him over there. Maybe
that doesn't exist.
Tampering
no
going
such
on.
Thing anymore.
Hey, don't be surprised if you see him playing for the Utah Jazz after his rookie contract, dog. Just don't be surprised.
I won't be surprised at all because we know this as well as anyone. Teams tank all the time trying to get that first pick. And if the Utah Jazz owner has made this kind of investment already, Ountae, watch how those ping pong balls just happen to end up in Utah.
Allegedly. I want to say allegedly. That's just what the streets are saying. The streets are saying Ryan Smith is fronting the back.
Exactly.
That's what the streets are saying.
Yeah, I'm with the streets, and I'm not saying allegedly, okay? I'm saying Utah, what a coinky-dink. If they end up with the first pick when this kid comes out, it wouldn't shock me at all. I just know this. They asked him, give us a scouting report of your game. He said, I'm a combo. Listen to this. Of Tracy McGrady and SGA.
That's a killer.
I mean, bro, even the mentality is there with this kid. I love it. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Cooper Flagg and him. You know what I mean? I like this new crop of young talent coming in, Ountae. I'm here for it, brother.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this kid play in the college game, man. High school looks a little too easy for him, so I'm right there with you.
No doubt. And we know he'll be playing with grown men there at BYU because they're all 40. All right, we'll bring Ountae back later in the on that note, we'll bring Ountae back later in the program. I want to start here, sort of the week that was with the Celtics, right? Because, look, on this show, Ountae and I both incorrectly predicted that the Bucks would come into Boston and beat the C's. I liked our reasoning for breaking down the game. The Bucks were in the middle of a hot streak, starting to get it together, starting to climb up the standings in the Eastern Conference. Just felt like there was momentum there, right? And what did we get? Well, we were treated to yet another Celtics win against a top Eastern Conference contender, right? Even though the Bucks haven't really lived up to it this season, even in the midst of a hot streak, we still understand when the smoke clears, they're going to be one of the teams, conceivably, that the Celtics have to deal with in the playoffs. Well, How did the Celtics win that game? I mean, they won it how they always do it. Think about this. In this game, Giannis, 30 points, 11 boards. Dame, 31 points. Chris Middleton, back in the fold, making his season debut in that game. He had 11 points, but we get it. He's getting his feet under him. Meanwhile, typical Celtics. Jayson Tatum, double-double of his own, no big deal. Jaylen Brown, 25 points, no biggie. And the bench showed up per usual, and the Celtics won. But one thing that jumped out to me in this game, it was a Jaylen Brown-Giannis beef. I mean, nothing to see here, just a little pushing and shoving. I want to see them in a cage match. That's just me. But my takeaway from that was Giannis is frustrated, and rightfully so. This is in the middle of a hot streak. I just told you this. The Bucks are 8-2 in their last 10 games, okay? So they're playing well. They got all the momentum flowing. This would be a big road win coming in and beating the champs here at TD Garden. They couldn't get it done. I just gave you the numbers. Giannis balled, Dame balled, Chris Middleton's back. Doesn't matter. The reality is this. You're not good enough right now to compete with the Celtics. And what young talent, what young players, what young stars are being developed under Giannis and Dame? How's no one sound? So what does that mean? The future doesn't even look bright for you. I'm looking at the Eastern Conference standings right now as we speak. Right now, in the midst of a hot streak, 8-10 in their last 10, as I told you, the Bucks are 6th in the Eastern Conference. Are you kidding? Do you know how much dreck is in the Eastern Conference right now? Outside of the Cavs, Celtics, and the Magic, Knicks starting to play better, but really, right now, it's top-heavy with those three teams. And the Bucks aren't even near that. They're in the 6th seed. So I told you coming into the season, I think Giannis is going to force his way out. Meanwhile, on this side of things, the Celtics, they just keep on rolling. Now, in fact, as we keep on rolling to the week that was, they did lose to Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. And it's funny because on the last Hold My Banner, I've been reminded of this too. On the last Hold My Banner, I literally had a segment where I said, you know what? I don't like that Ja Morant is saying I need to stop dunking. I need to protect my body. I need to just settle for jumpers a little bit more so I can play longer. I can be there for my team. I can be available. He's had some injury issues. He's been banged up. I want to protect myself more. And I came right on here, and I did like 10 minutes on how Ja, I think I said the exact quote, don't dim your light. Be aggressive. Attack the rack. It's why we love you. You're explosive. I talked about how Allen Iverson had a whole career of attacking the trees and the paint. He's the smallest guy on the floor. It didn't matter. I'm going in there. I'm going at you. We loved it. He didn't have a long career either, maybe as long as it could have been if he protected himself. So I understood where Ja was coming from. But my God, did someone send him the clip? Because he came into TD Garden and dunked on everybody on this damn team, including me. I felt attacked. I mean, what was it? It was like a double clutch reverse dunk. Whoa. And the place went nuts. And of course, as I said, because of that, his team feeds off of that. They all get hyped up. Everyone's going crazy doing that. Well, they win the game. I mean, Ja had a great game. He messed around and nearly got a triple-double in the win. My takeaway from that game was not from a Celtics standpoint. Look, I mean, we already told you. When they go up against elite teams in the Eastern Conference, they handle their business. We know that. And when you get to the finals, and yes, I'm putting them back in the finals, the Celtics, I believe, will repeat as champs. They will handle their business against whoever comes out of the West. So I'm not going to really worry about the Grizzlies, a legit Western Conference team, coming in here, getting the win, Ja dunking on them and me in the process. Okay, it was good for the Grizzlies. And that was sort of my takeaway, was I left that game thinking, okay, Ja we know is great, but I like this Grizzlies team. I mean, low-key, I like this Grizzlies team. Two things I noticed that I think they could use, but these are two things that are obtainable at the trade deadline. Number one, They need more shooters. You have to shoot better in order to get out of the Western Conference and to have a shot at beating the Celtics. Like right now, as constructed, if we get Grizzlies Celtics in the finals, the Grizzlies, they're done in 5 games. If they could get a shooter or two, you may be cooking with some oil. Here's the other thing I noticed. Ja, even though saying those comments, I need to sort of change my game so I can play longer, that feels like a mature thing to say, but we know he still has some maturing to do. You do have some veterans on that team, but I think they could use a couple more grown-ups. Doesn't have to be great players. You need some shooters, and you need a couple more grown-ups just to have in the locker room, just to have around that team. Guys with playoff experience, guys with NBA experience. I think if the Grizzlies, by the way, both things obtainable, shooter, grown-ups, vets, if they can get those things and sprinkle them into what they already have, now I believe you have a bona fide contender out west. Because right now, I mean, look, I'm looking at these standings too. They're second in the West behind OKC. So you say, well, Travis, what the hell else do they need to do to be legit in your mind? And I just think they need those couple of pieces, those ingredients, those key ingredients to take them to the next level. Even with OKC, I feel the same way. Now, they at least got some playoff experience last season, but something still sort of feels off. Maybe it's Chet, but something still feels off with them as well. I trust right now, I still trust the Warriors more. I still trust some of these veteran teams who have been there, done that. I like what the Mavericks are doing this season. I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Mavericks end up back in the finals against the Celtics. But with that being said, if you look at the West right now, OKC, Grizzlies, Rockets, those are all young teams. Those are all teams still trying to sort of figure out how to win. We'll see with the Thunder, with the exception of them, because they did gain that valuable playoff experience. But certainly the Grizzlies, definitely the Rockets. I feel like they're maybe a year ahead of schedule, but we'll see. All right, I want to transition to this. Jayson Tatum, he's following the Tom Brady blueprint. He's following the TB12 blueprint. Here's what I mean. This morning, I'm watching TV, minding my business, prepping for this wonderful program. Thank you for being a part of it, by the way. And I look up on my TV, and I see a Coach commercial. And it is Jayson Tatum in all his glory. I mean, full-blown pretty boy swag. Ountae, do we have the picture? Look at this. I mean, the smell of success. Jayson Tatum for Coach for Men fragrances. I feel like they don't even say fragrances. They say fragrances. The commercial was everything this picture was. Trust me. It was every bit of it. I mean, he's walking through the streets. It looked like Patty. He's walking through the streets. He's got the clean suit with the overcoat on. He's got his fragrance. Then slow motion, he spritzes it. Tss, tss, and he just walks through. You know how most of us maybe put a little dab here, a little dabble behind the ear, something like that. My man spritzes in slow-mo, and then he just walks through it with his arms up. It was amazing. I said, is he walking or floating through the streets? It was fantastic. And I thought to myself, I laughed. I'm not going to lie. I'm a hater. I laughed. But I did think to myself, this is so Jayson Tatum. And then I started thinking, well, you know what? I've seen this before. No, not the Coach commercial. No, not the spritz and then the walk through and bask in the spritz. No. I've seen Tom Brady have the same sort of brand identity, the same branding blueprint. Think about this. When Brady played here, at the time, Peyton Manning was in every commercial. Was he not? He still is. He's the everyman. He's pushing pizza. He's pushing minivans. I know damn well Peyton Manning don't do half the things that he's in commercials for, but he's getting the cabbage, and we all feel a little more connected to Peyton Manning. He's country, oh shucks, it's him and Eli, it's a football family. There's some I don't know, I'm not some brand expert here, but it feels like there's a little connectivity maybe with Peyton. Not Tom. Tom never even tried to play that game. Now, he's great. He's kind. He's awesome. We love him. He wasn't a D. He wasn't cocky. But Tom's brands, if you notice, it was always high end. It was always luxury. It was Tag Heuer. He has stock and equity and ownership in Under Armour. Even his Under Armour commercials were different than the other players who maybe with Nike or Reebok or something. Tom's was, you could tell, it was a TB12 production. Tom took his time with that because he's part owner, right? They've done the same thing with Steph Curry at Under Armour there. They've done a great job with that. But Tom had that sort of, I hate to make it sound like this, but I'm better than you air to him. I'm married to a supermodel. I win all the Super Bowls. I ain't Peyton or Eli. Even though Eli got me twice, I'm still better. And I always respected that about Tom. So I'm sitting back and I'm watching this commercial. This is how my brain works. I'm laughing at the spritz and the walkthrough, but then I'm like, he's following Tom's blueprint. It makes perfect sense. Let's draw some comparisons. Jayson Tatum, boring as all get out. Jayson Tatum, private. Jayson Tatum, quiet. Jayson Tatum, handsome. All about ball. There's no extracurricular. You're not going to read about him in the club. He's not going to be on the police blotter. It's all ball. Boring as hell, but he focuses on ball. What was Brady? I mean, you could say all the same things about Tom Brady when he played here as well. So I respect it, Jayson Tatum. I do. I see the blueprint. Tom made it possible, and you're following it. And you know what? Good on you. And it's a great fit, quite literally. I've spent a lot of money in my house on Coach for the wife. I know. Good fit, good brand, good move there by Jayson Tatum. And you know what? I dig your shoes too, bro. Nice job from Jayson Tatum. I want to transition to this as I spritz into the next segment. Chris Paul passed Jason Kidd all-time second now in NBA career assist. I'm not the biggest Chris Paul fan. I'm not. But whether you are a fan or not, none of us can deny he's top 10 all time. I just don't even, if you're arguing that, you don't watch basketball. Now, you want to debate, and we've done it on this show, top 5? Okay. We can have an argument. We can debate. We can throw around numbers. We can, build out our list of all-time point guards. No problem. And by the way, I don't have him in my top 5. That's why I'm kind of bringing this up. But he is top 10, and we all have respect for his game. But here's one thing I'll give him credit for, especially towards the end of his career. I think he's aged well. Yes, he doesn't have a ring. And look, playing with the Spurs, he's not getting a ring, okay? Let's have that conversation. Does he ring chase when his gas light is on? When the tank's on E and the gas light is on, and he just latches onto a team and gets a ring, maybe, but that's a cheap ring, and we know that, and that's not really going to enhance his legacy at this point. I would argue stay with the Spurs because you can continue to age well there. Think about his game. He's communal. He shares the ball. He's a true point guard. He thinks of others first. It doesn't hurt that you have Wemby on your team, does it? So if you just kind of age the way you are and you finish out true point guard, think about other point guards who don't age well. What are sort of the problems with them? What happens to them? Their bodies break down. These are the symptoms. Their bodies break down. They're not as explosive, right? They lost a step. Chris Paul doesn't have to worry about any of that. He's not oft injured. He gets banged up here or there. But he doesn't get catastrophic injuries. He doesn't have to worry about explosiveness. He doesn't play above the rim. He's not doing what I say John Morant did, the double clutch reverse dunk. He ain't doing any of that. He's bringing the ball down. He's running the offense. He's getting it to Wemby, the unicorn, and they're doing what they do. So Chris Paul, I think, is aging gracefully. He's aging well. And I think this last chapter, playing with the Spurs, I believe it'll actually enhance his legacy a bit. I think when you talk Chris Paul all time, it'll come up. hey, at the end of his career, he played with an all-time great in Wemby, and it bought him, 3-4 extra years on the back end of his career, and I think that's part of it. Without a doubt, top 10 all-time, Chris Paul. Want to hear all about Boston sports? Check out Nesson's Daily Sports Podcast. Boston has entered the chat. You can enter the conversation by tweeting at us and using the hashtag NessonChat. You can also email us, thechat@nesson.com. Boston has entered the chat, is available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. All right, as I spritz my cologne and walk into it, I bring back the walking, talking, triple-double Ountae Campbell, who I can't wait to not only get your take on my CP3 take, but have you seen the coach commercial for Jayson Tatum? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen the commercial yet.
All right.
I'll say this. I'll say one thing about each of the three topics that you brought up. Okay. First of all, yes. Grizzlies need ooters. That's what we call them.
That's
ooters.
what I think. Yeah.
They need some shooters.
Yes.
Really, really badly in order for them to be a contender. We'll talk a little bit more about them later. Jayson Tatum. Bro, let my dog live.
Come on, man.
Like, let my dog live.
I said I'd get it. Good job.
Okay, like, come on. It sounded like you was hating a little bit.
I was.
A little bit.
But it's a good fit.
Let him hit. Let him live, bro. And then on CP3, look, I agree with you on this light that he's being shed in now is making him look more favorable than his time in Phoenix, than his time with the Warriors, because those didn't really end the way that people, because they had these large expectations of him.
Yes.
He came into this Spurs situation without expectations, which is a great situation for him to be in.
Good point.
And he's teaching these young guys how to play. Stephon Castle's learning a lot from him as well. I know you brought up the Wemby thing. That's obvious. He's going to continue to benefit off of Chris Paul being there, because Chris Paul is the point guard, the facilitator that we are all talking about, and that's why he's second all time in assists, which the number one spot won't probably ever get broken. So I just want to say this really quickly. Okay. People in our comments are still arguing with me about CP3 and Chris Paul and Russ and Steph and all this other stuff. Like, I get it, bro. But it just shows you though, like how great these point guards are. That like weeks later, you know what I mean. We're still getting these conversations, and bro, I love it. Now, look, I'm done talking about that because I need to talk about the Kings now. I don't know if you saw the clip. But I saw the clip of Mike Brown absolutely going off. It sounds like he was a robot that got stuck during a press conference after they beat the Jazz. Now, the Kings have been struggling as of late, but they are on a 2-game win streak. They beat the Spurs, who we were just talking about, who's not a similar team to them in record. Not really a great team, not really a bad team. And then they beat the Jazz, who was awful. They have the Pelicans next.
They'll beat them.
We'll see what happens there. But I want you to take a listen to Mike Brown after the Jazz game.
Good game, really good game by our guys. One of the things that we're continuing to talk about with our guys is we can't be bored stacking plays the right way. And what I mean by that is we don't need the home run steal. We don't need the home run three. We just need to be methodical by stacking or playing the right way, possession after 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 possession, after possession, after possession, after possession, after possession, after possession. You guys got what I'm saying, right? We just need to be methodical and locked in to play the right way on both ends of the floor for 48 minutes.
What was that? What was that? Ountae, before you even talk. You know how I said Jayson Tatum? Because you didn't see the commercial. And you're right, I was hating. But now I said Tatum spritzed the cologne and then he walked through it in slow-mo.
Yes.
Did Mike Brown, what did he spritz? I mean, did he spritz Aaron Rodgers? Did he spritz some crack? Like what? What happened? Bro was glitching after possession. Bro, just say it 2, 3, 4, 5 times. How many times did he say that, Ountae?
26 times.
Lord have mercy.
It's coach speak. You know what he would be really good at? He needs to be cast in the next Jordan Peele horror movie.
Yeah.
It's like one of those eerie, nothing else is going on. You walk in and it's just like the TV starting over again after possession. And then somebody's getting possessed behind them or something like that.
He got possessed. Hey, yo, do your eyes like that. You look like the Undertaker. Somebody pause that and make it a screenshot and make my man a meme, please, for me. Thank you.
Man, but I mean, it's a mark of a coach who feels the hot seat coming.
Facts.
There was talks last year about him being on the hot seat after the Kings didn't really live up to the expectations of them being a 2 seed. I think in 22 or whatever the year that was. And so I think this is a coach who is like, all right, I'm tired of it. And we're going to talk about another coach who's tired of their team not doing the things that they need to do. But I have a veteran team.
Yeah.
A lot of guys who have been here with me now. They know how I roll. They know how things are going. Guys need to step up, a.k.a. De'Aaron Fox. There was a time where he was. He slowed down a little bit now. You've been asking for him to take that next step.
I have.
And so it's kind of one of those things where he got into a position where he probably just talked to his team, right? Yeah. And he's like, okay, great. We blew out these 2 teams, but we're still 4-6 in our last 10, which is not great. 3-4 in our last, 4, which is great. Right. But, they're looking at themselves and they're like, okay, yeah, we did it against these bad teams, but we got to continue to do it possession after possession after possession, right? Against teams that are going to be, more highly favored throughout the Western Conference. So I kind of like this from him because he's not talking to the media, even though he was in this position. Yeah. He's talking to his team, and it shows that, like, hey, what I like about Mike Brown is that he's a crazy dude. Like, you've seen those clips of him, like, running at practice, screaming, yelling. Like, that's the thing that does fire up a team, and it's like, dude, our coach is crazy. We got to just play hard for this dude so he'll shut up. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, just play hard so he'll be quiet. So I love this from him.
Okay.
He's crazy, though.
I disagree with you.
Okay.
But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to defer to you because you played the game at an extremely high level, Ountae. Yeah. And you are literally saying, I feel like you're wearing a player's hat right now and saying, I like this from my coach.
Yep.
So I defer and I respect that. From where I'm sitting, here's why I disagree with you. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to get fired.
Oh, for sure. I think it's coming.
And look, the Kings, you remember, we did it on this show, a bunch of shows. In the offseason, that's all we talked about was predictions and sleeper teams and blah, blah, blah. The Kings were mine. Do you remember? Yeah. I had the Kings, I thought, and I said this definitively, I thought they would be top 4 in the West, and at worst, I thought they'd be a 5.
Yeah.
A 5 seed.
Yep.
You look right now, Ountae, they're not in the postseason if it were to start today. Yeah. And ultimately, I do think they're too talented to not make the playoffs, but this feels like an 8 seed fighting for their life to get in.
Yeah.
Or at best, a 7 seed. That is the quintessential definition of underachieving. I will also say this about why you like him, the intensity, the craziness. I like that too from my coach. However, after a while, it can go stale.
Yeah.
And you need a new voice. I'll give an example. Now, this guy wasn't as intense, but I liked J.B. Bickerstaff with the Cavs. And when they fired him, they moved off of him. I said, well, damn, that must mean the players got tired of him because they were winning games. They were in the playoffs every year.
Yep.
He seems like a really good coach to me. They run him out of town. They bring in Kenny Atkinson, and look at the difference that's made. Okay? Same roster, Ountae.
Yep.
I bring all that up to say I think Mike Brown's going to get let go. And that talented team, as long as they can keep them together, because they are a veteran team, but if you could keep them together and give another run next season for a better head coach, I mean, you got to hire up now. You got to hire up.
You do.
But if they can bring it, if I'm a high-profile coach, I don't want to live in Sacramento, shots fired, but I'll gladly coach the Kings for what they have core-wise, Ountae. I think you could see them maybe reach to where my expectations were. I thought they would be a sleeper team in the West. Ountae, I am now personally snoring okay, with my mouth open and drool about the Kings. I am snoring. The alarm's not waking me up.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's a long season. Certain guys just, can't keep it up. You know what I mean? I love De'Aaron Fox. But, bro, your December has been uninspiring. It's not bad. It's not bad. You're averaging like 21 a game.
Right.
It's not bad. But, like, everyone's been, like, looking at you to become this, like, you need to become an MVP kind of conversation kind of guy.
He's got that talent.
Exactly. And so he's shown us that before where it's like, okay, De'Aaron Fox is hooping right now. You know what I mean? And he's put together a nice 2 weeks. He's done that multiple times throughout his career.
Facts, bro.
But it's one of those things where his coach, if he likes him, I don't know what their relationship is, but if he likes him, he's about to see him get kicked out the door because he can't turn up and go to that level. Facts. That's not what DeMar got brought here to do. That's not what Sabonis' job is. Right. Everybody knows that the Kings are his team. Even if Sabonis gets the nods with the All-Star and the first team All-NBAs or second team All-NBAs, whatever, it's still Fox's team.
Right.
So, Fox, bro, you have to show up.
You got to show up. I'll be honest with you, bro. The only team that disgusts me more in the Western Conference than the Kings is the Denver Nuggets. And we'll get to that in a second. But first, want the latest on the Patriots and the NFL? Drake May needs help. Don't you hear him? This is Drake May. Listen. Help! Oh, Lord, this offensive line stinks. Help me, please. I'm running for my life. We discuss how he can get it quick on Nesson's football podcast, Foxborough Rush. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else podcasts are found. Well, that was fun. I saw Ountae's soul leave his body when I did the Drake May, help me please, oh Lord. Now, I told you.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of these bleepity bleep. And I don't want to bleep, but it's a family program.
Yes.
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
Ountae, I want a divorce. I no longer believe that this team is going to the NBA Finals. I want to change my prediction. Now, here's my problem.
Wow.
Here's my problem.
Travis, we're only like 25 games in.
I don't care. I want out. My problem, though, I don't know who the hell else I trust in the West, but if you remember why I picked the Nuggets, I said Jokic is going to be Jokic. He's going to put up video game numbers. That's automatic.
And he's been doing that.
I know you got some numbers for me. I want to hear them all. But, I thought with the championship pedigree and the experience and knowing what I get from Jokic, I said, you know what? They had an off year. I think the Nuggets figure it out and get back. Tay, before you give me Jokic's his numbers, this team averages 119 points per game, but they give up 117. This is on average.
Yeah.
I went back and looked at some of their losses. They've given up at several points this season, Ountae. Listen to this. $144, $145, 141 points. You don't even defense. You can't even spell defense. You're not interested in playing defense.
Yeah.
You are ole. Like, what is happening? I am done. This is not, I'm sorry, and this could be disrespectful to Hoopers. You tell me if I'm out of pocket.
Yeah.
A lot of defense is skill. Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
But most of defense is in between the ears and right here, baby. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get by me. You're not going to cook me tonight. You ain't scoring no $145 as a team on me.
Right.
And they don't have that.
Yeah.
That's attitude. I'm sorry. I am out on the Nuggets.
Yeah, it is attitude. To be fair, I'm going to give you some numbers. I'm going to start with this. They are 16th, which is pretty much as dead middle as it gets in the NBA in defensive rating. So they're an average defensive team right now.
That's being kind.
Right. Average defensive team, right? Now, what I will say about this team and their want to is that Mike Malone said this a couple weeks ago. We had the clip of it, you know what I mean, a couple episodes back.
Yeah, we did run that.
That's of him getting mad and yelling and saying, hey, my vets need to step up and want to and all this other stuff. So that's been known. I told you weeks ago, months ago almost at this point, that this Nuggets team is pretty bad on defense.
You did say that.
The Nuggets fans should probably be a little nervous about it. And you told me I was crazy. But
I did. I apologize.
But you were right about this. Jokic. And Jokic has been killing over the last 5 games. And you're right. I have the numbers for you. 39 points a game, 9 rebounds a game, 9 assists a game, 15.5 rebounds a game, 55% from the field, and 42% from
Lord have mercy.
What more could you ask?
Facts, bro.
What more could you ask?
You can't.
Nothing.
No.
But I want to blame Calvin Booth. That's what I want to do. I'm going to blame him, the GM of the Nuggets, because he has been complacent. Mm-hmm. Just like how I blamed Sam Presti the other day. I'm blaming Calvin Booth.
Yeah.
You have 4 of your main 4, right? It's Jokic, it's Murray, it's MPJ, and it's Aaron Gordon. Those are your 4. And you've let everybody poach your other guys.
Right.
And just say, hey, yeah, Christian Brown will work. Oh, yeah, Julian Strawther will work. Figure it out, Mike Malone, with these guys who are young, really not ready to, play major minutes yet.
That's right.
Peyton Watson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're good. I like them.
Yeah.
But they're 2 or 3 years down the road.
Doubt.
This team is ready to win now. They won. When they had veterans on their team, when they had a Bruce Brown, when they had a KCP, and you let those dudes walk and go off to their other own places for nothing and brought absolutely nothing back.
Yeah.
If you want to win games, just like we see in the MLB and everybody's getting mad at Red Sox Nation and blah, 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 you got to spend money. In order to win games in the NBA, you have to spend money on veterans and win in your window. Jokic's window is now. Mm-hmm. Are you going to go get the talent to help him win, or are you not? Now, it's time for me to help you out, Travis, because you're off the bandwagon.
I need it.
Right?
I need it, bro.
It's time for us to play a little game I'm calling NBA Matchmaker.
Thank God. Can you hook a brother up, please? Oh, this is a beautiful graphic. So listen, take you all behind the curtain here. I've just had a day. I haven't been able to do anything. I haven't been able to breathe, let alone look at this graphic. And Ountae says, wait till you see the NBA Matchmaker graphic. This is a beautiful graphic. Well done, my friend.
So I have a list of 5 teams that could be considered contenders in the West. Now, if your team is not included, we just don't have time to go through all 20 of them. Like, Jesus Christ, give me a chance, all right?
All right.
So, look.
All right.
I'm going to give you teams. I'm not going to tell you their name because we're taking the name out of this.
It's a blind date, right?
This is a blind date to find your match for the Western Conference, Travis. Now, I've been telling you my Thunder, and I can tell you now they're already in here somewhere.
I'm sure. Okay, look, I'm ready for love. Let's do it.
Let's find out. All right, team 1. Now, this is a younger team in the NBA. Their average age by minutes played is the 5th youngest in the league. All right, they're the 5th youngest team in the league in that stand. All right. They have the 2nd best in defensive rating.
All right. Ooh.
16th in offensive rating, though.
Okay.
1st in rebound percentage. So of all shots that are missed, they're 1st in collecting them.
Okay.
And they're 30th in assist percentage. So that means they're getting a lot of ISO buckets.
Okay.
Not a lot of passing going on.
Which could be the scoring issue, right?
Right.
Okay.
That's team number 1.
All right.
Okay?
All right.
Team number 2. Younger team also. Average age by minutes is 3rd youngest.
Okay.
1st in defensive rating.
All right.
8th in offensive rating.
Okay.
1st in steals per game. Mm-hmm. But they're 29th in rebound percentage, meaning of all rebounds that are available to get, they're 29th in the league.
All right.
All right. The team number 3. Middle of the pack in age, they're 10th oldest. Okay, that's around, middle of the pack.
Okay.
8th in defensive rating.
All right.
4th in offensive rating.
Okay.
6th in true shooting percentage. Do you know what that is, Travis?
Yes.
Okay, so in true shooting percentage, which is basically combining all of the aspects of shooting, free throws, 3-pointers, 2s, they're 6th.
Yep.
6th in blocks.
Yep.
Per game, but they're 21st in opponent points in the paint.
Okay. Give up some interior. All right. All right.
So of those 3 teams first, I'll give you the next 2 in a second.
Oh, there's 5?
There's 5.
No, give me the 5. Give me the 5.
Okay.
Keep going. Roll through.
Team 4.
Because you got me intrigued. All right.
Team 4.
Yep.
Average age by minutes is 8th youngest.
Okay.
7th in defensive rating.
All right.
5th in offensive rating.
Okay.
2nd in pace. So this team plays fast, which I know you love.
Yeah, I do. I like that up tempo.
Right. But they're 23rd in turnover percentage. They are turning that ball over.
They play too damn fast. Okay.
23rd. Now, Team 5, which is the last team that we can list off in this, all right?
Yep.
Is an older team. Their average age by minutes played is the 5th oldest in the league. Okay. They are 8th in defensive rating, 4th in offensive rating.
All right.
3rd in assist percentage. So they're spreading the ball, and most of their shots, field goals made, are ended up in assists.
That's a veteran team for you.
And they're 23rd in true shooting percentage, though.
Okay. Ooh. All right.
So how are you feeling early on about some of these teams? Who are you liking? Who are you not liking?
Listen, man, I'm trying to love again, so I took copious notes. Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna. You know how I am. I talk through things.
Yep.
Team 1 is a young team. They play defense and grab boards. They have a scoring issue, but it's more stylistically, which I blame on the coach. It's a lot of ISO ball. They just need to share the ball more.
Blaming team 1 on the coach. Okay, I need to write that down.
Team 2 is a young team. They play defense and they score, but they don't rebound. I'm blaming the coach. A lot of rebounding is positioning and just coaching guys up. Be in position. We need the board. We do everything right. We don't rebound. The coach should attack that. Team 3 is a veteran team, but not too veteran. Well balanced. I like that. Not a lot of. It's sort of a safe. This feels like a safe pick. Team 4, young, balanced, up tempo, but they turn the ball over too much. That means they're sloppy, which means they're probably playing a little too fast. Again, that's a mark on a coach. That's something you can work on. Team 5, older team. Balanced. They don't shoot the ball well, though. All right, I'm going to go process of elimination. You have to remember who I divorced. It's the Nuggets. They do everything right. They play zero defense. What's that tell you? That means I was in a toxic relationship. That's what that means. That means it was, woo, we're out all night. We're in the club, VIP, popping bottles. I love you, baby. We're on top of the world. And then when it came to the mortgage, we couldn't get it done, okay? When the nuts and bolts of the relationship, they bleeped that up. But I had great drunken nights with them. You feel me? So I'm out of that. So I need the opposite of that. Team 1, young team, scoring issue, ISO ball, nah. Not interested. Eliminate them. Tell me later who these are.
I will.
Team 1's out. Team 2, young defense, scoring, but they don't rebound. That's effort. Get them the bleep out of here, okay? That's a problem with the Nuggets. You don't play any damn defense. That's effort. Team 3.
First in defensive rating, though, Team 2.
Yeah, I don't care. You don't board. You play defense and you don't board? What is that?
First in steals, too.
Peanut butter, no jelly. If you're that good at defense, you can't rebound for me? I don't trust you.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm just telling you. Team 3, veteran team. They're well balanced. Keep them in the finals. Team 4, young, balanced team, up tempo, but they turn the ball over sloppy. You're out. Team 5, older team, balanced. They don't shoot well. Boy, it is hard to teach shooting, ain't it? Maybe they can make a move at the deadline or two. Keep Team 5.
So it's between Team 3 and Team 5 now.
I tell you what, Team 5.
Team 5 is 4th in offensive rating, considering their true shooting numbers. I'm just reminding you of that.
All right.
Team 3, you know, you didn't really have anything negative to say about them. They do give up some points in the paint.
Points in interior.
Yes.
Which also.
But they're 6th in blocks. But 21st in the opponent points in the paint.
They're playing hard. They're just. Okay, so both teams, if you notice here, I'm going safe. And I'm also a trade deadline move away from being really good. You can get a shooter for Team 5 or 2. And you know you could get someone to block shots for Team 3.
I will tell you this too.
All right,
both teams have a player who is definitely ending up top 5 at least in their position.
All right,
definitely ending up top 5 in their position. So you have a super mega star on each of these teams.
All right, let me go here. This is what happens on dating shows. Team 3 and Team 5 are my finalists. I feel good about my finalist. Now I'm picking up the phone, Lifeline style. I'm calling my good friend Ountae.
Yes, sir. What's up, Travis Thomas? 2 T's. What you need, Bob Boy?
What up, Inglewood? Hey, look, dog. Team 3 and Team 5.
Yeah.
You have them in front of you.
Yes, I do.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
You know me well.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these teams fit my personality the best? Where do you see me living happily ever after?
I ain't gonna lie to you, 2 T's. You gotta rock with that tress, man. That tress, that
all right.
team number 3 right there.
All right.
That's probably your team, dog.
All right. Good luck, family. Ountae, I'm ready for love.
Okay.
Give me team number 3. Reveal them unto me. I'm ready to make my vows, kiss, and live happily ever after with Team 3.
Team 3 is the Western Conference champions from last year, the Dallas Mavericks.
I'll take it. Who was Team 5?
Team 5 is the Golden State Warriors.
Okay. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was Golden State. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who 3 was.
Yep.
I had a feeling 5 was Golden State. Mm-hmm. And by the way, this is why matchmaking works. I'm happy. I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
I said coming into the season, we both did. Yeah. We didn't pick them, but we both said, hey, listen, what the experience the Mavericks gained, getting to the finals and losing to the Celtics, that can help them this season. Mm-hmm. I don't hate this at all. I don't. And as you said, you have a player in Luka. Yep. My God. Who can get you there. Mm-hmm. So I like this, and I do think they can add some interior defensive help at the deadline. That's really all that team's missing.
Before you move on, just so you know who the teams were that you X'd out very quickly.
Oh, yeah. Who's Team 1?
Team 1 is Rockets.
Oh, okay.
Team 2 is Thunder, which I thought was interesting that you blame the Rockets coaching because I know how much you love Ime.
Yeah.
And then Team 4 was the Grizzlies, who are number 2 seed in the West right now.
Yeah, well, remember, even going back to the Rockets, I blamed Ime for iso ball. So I mean, if you're looking for weaknesses in his game, it's offense, right? Yeah. Who was the last team you said? Who was Team 4?
Team 4 is Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah, no. I'm happy here. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm riding off in the sunset. You know how you ride off in the convertible and it says just married on the back?
Yeah.
And everyone's throwing rose petals?
Yep.
And there's a harpist?
Yep. All I ever wanted was a black Grand National.
Yeah, a violinist.
I had to get that one out.
There's doves being released. Ountae's at my wedding. He's singing, there's a ribbon in the sky.
A little Stevie.
Luka.
Luka. That's crazy.
What's next?
Oh, man. We got.
Hold on. Business to attend to.
Oh, excuse me.
From Simone Biles to Caitlin Clark to all the top stories in sports, we've got you covered on Nesson's Women in Sports podcast, Respect Her Game. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, as I was saying, what's next?
What's next, Travis? We got to talk about Cece, Caitlin Clark. I feel like we haven't caught up with her in a minute, but she's doing some big things, Travis.
I saw that.
She's got the Times Athlete of the Year for Caitlin Clark. Travis, how do you feel about Caitlin Clark winning this award? I mean, this ain't just a woman's award.
Yeah.
She's better than everybody.
She is. And listen, I'm going to make you happy here, too, because I was actually going to end the show with this. So I'll just do it here now, Tim, and we'll end it together. But, you know, Caitlin Clark, I would say, her and Kendrick, quite frankly, won 2024.
Yes.
Like, the thing about Caitlin Clark I respect the most on the WNBA journey is, remember in the beginning of her rookie season, I mean, she was getting the you-know-what beat out of her, knocked to the floor every single play. It felt like a V for Vendetta out on her, and she just kept getting up and hooping and getting buckets. No problem. She got better as the season went on. She got tougher. She got stronger. I mean, next thing you know, this team's winning games. She has an extremely bright future. We all know it. And I can't wait to watch it. This is absolutely the right move by Time Magazine.
You know what I love about Caitlin Clark is that she has aura.
Yeah.
We talk about that all the time, but, I mean, anytime she's around, anytime she has her teammates around her, I mean, she just brings up the greatest light in everybody that's around her. I mean, she just brings everybody up with her. Now, I understand that the Fever didn't really end the season how they wanted to, but, I mean, this was a team that everybody was like, oh, Caitlin Clark's not going to come in and do do anything. This is a grown woman's league. And I told you, I said early on, she's going to struggle because she is going to have to deal with that physicality. But as soon as she figures it out, which won't take too long, she's going to be doing her thing. And she did her Dougie. I can tell you that. So shout out to Caitlin Clark. I want to quickly talk about one of her teammates that she helped bring up into a great light. Kate Martin. She's now part of the Golden State Valkyries. Last time we talked to you guys, we told you to watch the WNBA expansion draft, and it was an amazing event. The Valkyries walked out with a great cast of teams. I want to know, Travis, how did you feel about the draft?
Well, I'm petty, so there were a couple names. Look, Haley Jones is someone I thought they should have went after. She did not get picked. She may have been protected, but if so, I just think it was a mistake. She's not getting enough burn with the Dream, and I thought that's someone she could have went there and shined a little bit. Got some burn, got the hoop. But they did take Veronica Burton, which I did correctly predict.
You did.
And it was all because she plays great defense. She's a great leader. It was a great fit. That's what they're looking for. They told you coming in this thing, that's what they were looking for. I love that move. She has to improve on shooting, but I have faith she can work on that over time.
Yeah. I want to show you guys this as I continue to talk about it really quickly, but I like this team. I think they really focus on the now versus focusing on the future, which might be a good thing to help build that fan base in Golden State. I'm a little worried about what they're going to look like 2 or 3 years down the line, but I did tell you that they were going to take Kayla Thornton.
Yeah, you did.
UTEP pride. Had to let everyone know.
Yeah, you did.
But the Valkyrie are going to be a great team to watch, and man, I can tell you, I can't wait to watch them play games. Now, before we get out of here, Travis, we usually do League Pass games. Look, the NBA Cup is on.
Yeah.
The NBA Cup is on.
Yeah.
Watch that.
Yeah, you
Watch
could.
that. Travis was going to tell you about a college game.
Yeah.
Forget that college game.
Yeah.
Go watch the Cup.
Yeah, sure.
The NBA wants you to, so do it.
Yeah, and if you're like me and you're not interested, Thursday night, you could get Iowa hosting Iowa State in men's basketball. That's what I'm watching because the Cup sucks. Hey, we don't though. Here on Hold My Banner, we love hanging with you, baby. Travis Thomas, Ountae Campbell, and you. Thank you as always for rolling with us. Roll with us again on Hold My Banner. Come on, baby. We all family, and we love that hoop. Peace.
Deuces.